Don't touch me, Garrett. That's what she said. 4 words. No yelling. No drama. Just that ice-cold sentence. And I swear, the air left the room. My hand was barely an inch from her shoulder. The same shoulder I'd kissed 100 times. Squeezed for comfort. Brushed against in passing while making coffee. Now it felt like I'd reached for a stranger. She looked at me like I was something to step over, not a husband, not even a human. Just an inconvenience. Let me ask you something. And be honest. If the person you built your life with looked at you like that, what would you do? Comment yes if you'd walk away, or no if you'd fight for answers. And while you're here, hit subscribe and like if you're ready for this ride. This story's only getting started. I didn't react the way she probably expected. I didn't ask, what's wrong? I didn't push. I didn't beg. I just stood there, hand frozen in the air like a damn fool, then pulled it back and walked away. Silent. That silence? That was the loudest thing I've ever said in my life. I went straight to the guest room. A room we called temporary when we bought the house. We joked it would be a nursery one day, or a craft room if our dreams got too wild. Now, it was an exile. The mattress felt like concrete. The pillow gave me nothing, and the sheets smelled like dust and time and neglect. I lay there staring up at the ceiling fan, listening to it spin with the kind of laziness only heartbreak understands. That moment played in my head on repeat, her voice flat and cold. Don't touch me, Garrett. It wasn't frustrating. It wasn't tiring. It was revulsion. That's when it hit me. She wasn't mad at me. She was disgusted by me. I knew I had to face something I didn't want to admit. Something deep down I'd been ignoring. The missed date nights, the weird phone habits, the forced affection, the way she suddenly cared what some contractor, Leonidas, thought about everything. I used to think I was being paranoid. But nah. Paranoia doesn't make someone flinch when you touch them. Later that night, I watched her sleep from across the hallway. She looked peaceful, like someone who had absolutely nothing on her conscience. And for a second, I wanted to believe maybe I was just overworked, overthinking, until I remembered the look she gave me. That wasn't confusing. That wasn't distance. That was disgusting. That's when it clicked. She's already emotionally gone. The next day, I went to Yusuf. Been my boy since college, zero filter. Bro, he said, slamming his beer down, you're working 60-hour weeks so she can build a Pinterest kitchen with someone else's ideas, and now she's flinching at your touch. I didn't even respond, just stared at the bar top. You know what I think, he added. Something's up. And you better stop acting like it ain't. Have you ever noticed how silence can be loud as hell? Because after that night, it screamed. She didn't bring up what happened. Not the don't touch me, not the distance, not the fact that I slept in a different room like some house guest. Instead, Emina woke up the next morning, made coffee, and acted like everything was normal. Garrett, she said, not even looking up from her phone, I've been thinking of marble countertops. Leonidas says they add at least 15% resale value. That name, Leonidas, hung in the air like smoke. Not our interior designer, not a realtor, the contractor. I looked at her over my mug. Sounds expensive, I said. She finally made eye contact, smiled. It's our dream home, Garrett. Don't you think it's worth it? Oof, our dream home, that line hit me in the gut. Because standing in that kitchen, I realized we weren't building a dream together anymore. I was building hers. She just needed me to pay for it. I didn't argue. I didn't push back. Instead, I smiled. Whatever you think is best. And right there, right in that moment, she exhaled. Like she was relieved. Like she thought I was still blind. And maybe that's when I stopped being the predictable Garrett. The one who worked too much, who funded everything, who never asked questions. Because now I needed answers. That day, I called Yusuf again. You need to start collecting receipts, my guy, he told me. Don't go yelling, don't throw a scene. Let her think you're still clueless while you build your own damn file. And so I became something I never thought I'd be. A detective in my own marriage. I started simple. I left for work like usual, but looped back and parked down the street. Came in through the side door, quiet as hell. First day, nothing. Second day, she was in the bedroom, laughing on the phone. You know the kind of laugh people give when they're in that giddy, butterflies in your stomach, high school crush phase? Yeah, that laugh. One I hadn't heard from her in months. I can't wait either, she said, giggling. He's so focused on floor plans and spreadsheets, he doesn't notice a thing. I froze. Heart pounding? My ears were ringing so hard I barely heard what came next. Tomorrow works. He's got that dinner thing with his boss. I'll bring the updated plans over to your place. I backed out of the hallway like I'd walked in on a murder. Because in a way, I had. The next few days, it was like putting on new glasses and suddenly seeing the full picture. Every time she left the room to take a call, every time she mentioned Leonidas like he was some design god. Leonidas says the porch should wrap around both sides. Leonidas found this stunning tile. Leonidas thinks we should add a wine fridge. It was Leonidas this, Leonidas that. Dude was practically living with us, at least in conversation. At work I was wrecked, couldn't focus, messed up a pitch to a big client. Even Cameron, who barely talks, pulled me aside like, "Yo, you good?" "I'm fine," I lied. But the truth? I was breaking. Quietly, strategically. That night, I called Yusuf again. Told him everything I'd heard, and that's when he dropped the legal hammer. "Pennsylvania's a no-fault state," he said. "But that doesn't mean you let this slide. You start documenting everything. Texts, dates, behavior, screenshot it all." So I did. I created a password-protected doc, started writing down every shift in her tone, every odd errand, every time she smelled like someone else's cologne. But still, a small part of me, some pathetic, hopeful part, wanted to believe maybe there was some explanation. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't Leonidas. Maybe Amena hadn't traded love for lust and loyalty for floor tiles. That small part of me? It died the night she left her laptop open while she was in the shower. Ping. Message from Leonidas Lee. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Your husband is still clueless?" Blood went cold. I clicked the thread, and there it was. Everything. Flirty messages, plans to pressure me into funding add-ons, a step-by-step breakdown of how she'd divorce me for being too emotionally distant. Once I signed all the papers, Leonidas had it all mapped out, even joked, "I almost feel bad for the guy." And she replied, "Don't. He's so obsessed with this house he won't see anything coming." I stared at that screen like it was on fire. 6 years. Gone. My wife? Gone. The house? Still mine. But now it felt like a crime scene. I took screenshots, emailed them to myself, closed the laptop, quietly, knocked on the bathroom door. "I'm going for a walk," I said. She barely heard me over the running water. "Whatever. Don't forget we have dinner with the Millers tomorrow." I walked for hours, not to cool off, not to think, to plan. Because now, it wasn't about catching her, it was about beating her at her own game. There's a certain kind of pain that doesn't make you cry, it makes you still. That's where I was the morning after reading those messages. Still. No yelling, no "how could you," no smashing phones or breaking down in the street like some drama movie. Just coffee, a quiet breakfast, and a mental to-do list that was about to change everything. Amena came downstairs all bubbly, practically glowing. "Leonidas said he might bring champagne to the signing," she chirped. "Once it's all finalized, we should celebrate." Celebrate what exactly? The heist? The betrayal? The fact that you thought I'd never find out? I looked up from my cup. "Champagne sounds great," I said, smiling so calmly it probably scared her. She had no idea. I wasn't broken. I was preparing. Later that day, I made the first of 3 calls. Call number 1, Louis Gilmore, financial advisor. College buddy, knows how to move money quietly. "Louis," I said, "I need to shift funds. Discreetly. Fast." He didn't ask for drama. Just facts. I told him. The house was mostly funded by me. I had evidence of infidelity. I needed to protect what was mine without tipping her off. "Since it's your income and your records, you can legally withdraw your share, but it won't be all of it." "That's fine," I told him. "I'm not here to steal from her, I just won't let her steal from me." We moved $230,000 into a brand new account under my name. Same day. No trace. Call number 2, Scarlett Kerr, divorce attorney. I'd heard she was the kind of lawyer that made people cry into their lattes. Exactly what I needed. Her office was sharp, all glass and tension. After I laid everything out, she didn't blink. "You want to strike first," she said, tapping her pen. "Smart. Once they serve you, things get messy." Scarlett laid out the game plan like a general going to war. Freeze your credit exposure. Secure your liquid funds. Document everything, and do not tip her off. "When you're ready, we file first," I nodded. "I'm ready." Call number 3, Azalea Fisher, project manager on the house. I told her I'd be missing Friday's meeting, made up some excuse about a work conflict, but I needed her to watch everything. Azalea was quiet for a second. Then she said something that gave me chills. "You're not the first one Leonidas has gotten close to during a build." That's all she said. That's all she needed to say. That week, I played a game. Kissed Amina on the cheek. We talked about backsplash tiles, laughed when she showed me cute pendant lights on Pinterest. And while she thought I was still blind, I was transferring assets, printing screenshots, and packing 2 suitcases I kept hidden in my trunk. Thursday night. The final pretend. We watched some random cooking show. She curled up next to me like nothing was wrong, her fingers in my hair, her voice is syrupy. "Tomorrow's the big day," she whispered. I kissed her forehead. Yeah, tomorrow changes everything. And it would. Just not in the way she thought. Friday morning, game over. She laid out my suit, the one she said made me look like an architect with a 6-figure budget. I almost laughed. "Leonidas is bringing champagne," she said, smoothing my tie. "Perfect," I replied. We agreed to meet at the builder's office at 2 p.m. I watched her leave like it was the last scene in a movie I never wanted to be cast in. As soon as the door closed, I grabbed my things, drove to my new apartment, dropped the bags, grabbed coffee from across town, and I waited. 2:30 p.m. Let the chaos begin. My phone blew up like it owed her money. 7 missed calls from Amina, 4 texts from unknown numbers. Definitely Leonidas. 1 message from Azalea, "She's spiraling, the whole office is watching." Then came the final call. I picked up, calm as a monk. "Where are you, Garrett?" she barked. "The builder's here. Leonidas is here. Everyone is waiting." I sipped my drink. "I'm not coming." Silence. What do you mean you're not coming?" I could hear the room in the background, the whispers, the awkward tension. I leaned back in my chair, took a slow breath. It was my dream, my house, my money, and I've decided to invest it elsewhere. Have you ever seen someone realize the game they were playing isn't going the way they thought? That exact moment when the smirk fades? Yeah, Azalea told me later. She was pacing the builder's office like a queen waiting for her crown. Amina wore her best perfect wife outfit, heels, lipstick, fake smile. Leonidas showed up too, full suit, matching energy, champagne on ice, literally. They thought they were about to close the deal. Own the house, own the narrative, own me. Then 2 became 2:15, then 2:30, then whispers started. "Where's Garrett? Did he confirm this morning? Did something happen?" By 2:45, Amina was red-faced and snapping at everyone, texting me like crazy. That's when I picked up. She started with sugar. "Babe, are you okay? We're all waiting." I cut her off. "I'm not coming, and neither is the money." Silence, not even a breath on the line. Then a weak laugh. What are you talking about?" I didn't raise my voice, didn't cuss, didn't give her the drama she wanted. "You and your boyfriend can build your own damn dream house. I'll be using my money for something that doesn't cheat and plot behind my back." Then I hung up. According to Azalea, she stood there frozen. Phone still in her hand, like she couldn't believe it actually ended. And then, she exploded. "He's lying. He's just mad. He's broke. He's pathetic." Leonidas stepped back, literally backed up. Everyone in that office got a front row seat to the real her. She slammed her hand on the desk, shouted at Azalea, knocked over the champagne. Azalea, bless her, didn't flinch. She just said, "You tried to build your future on someone else's dream. That dream just walked away." That line? She told me later the room went dead silent. Even Leonidas looked like he wanted to disappear into the drywall. That night, she called me 14 times. I didn't answer a single one. Her voicemails went from furious to weepy to desperate. "You're ruining everything. Please, Garrett, just talk to me. It wasn't what you think. I made a mistake." Nah. See, a mistake is forgetting to buy milk. What she did was a plan, a blueprint. She and Leonidas tried to architect my downfall, but I built the exit first. The next day, Scarlett filed the paperwork. She didn't even hesitate. Full documentation, screenshots, financial logs, timeline. Amina tried to fight it, tried to spin a whole tale about emotional abandonment. But Scarlett shredded her version of the story like it was a rough draft. She laid it out. Proof of infidelity. Messages discussing manipulation, her intent to defraud me into funding her new life. Even the judge looked disgusted. We had one final meeting, legally required mediation. I walked in, calm, clean-shaven, button-down shirt. She looked wrecked, eyes puffy, nervous hands. "I never meant for it to go that far," she said softly. I was confused, lost. "You weren't present." I raised my hand. "No, just that." "No." She swallowed hard. I didn't expect you to walk away without saying anything." I leaned forward. "You told me not to touch you, so I didn't. You wanted me silent, so I was. You didn't expect me to leave without fighting. I don't fight for people who plot against me." Tears, real ones, but they didn't move me. Not anymore. Final ruling, she walked away with her name. That's it. No house, no money, no piece of what I built. Leonidas? Gone. Probably bailed the moment the free ride ended. And me? I moved into a small loft downtown. No marble, no double vanity, no skylight, just peace. I remember one night a few weeks later, I got a random text from her. "Do you ever think about us?" I stared at the screen, typed back, "No." Didn't hit send, deleted it, blocked the number instead, because I did think about us. But not with regret, only with relief. Let me tell you something people don't talk about enough. Silence after betrayal is deafening, but peace? Peace is quiet in a good way. The first night in my new place? No echo of her voice, no perfume in the pillows, no waiting to be touched just to be rejected. It was just me, a chair, a mattress, a floor lamp, and freedom. And you know what? That silence didn't hurt, it healed. The loft wasn't fancy, exposed brick, a little drafty, no backsplash or dimmable lights, but for the first time in years, I felt like every inch of that space was mine. Built for me, not to impress someone else. I cooked for myself, worked late without guilt, started sketching designs again, not for clients, for me. And that's when Shelby came back into the picture. Now, Shelby Murphy was someone I worked with years ago. A project manager, smart, steady, didn't get caught up in office politics. We hadn't talked in forever. She hit me up on LinkedIn, of all places. "Hey, saw your name on a recent project. Congrats. Are you still designing that eco-village you used to dream about?" I laughed when I read that. She remembered the one thing even I'd forgotten. The passion project I shelved when I got married, because Amina never really got it. We met up for coffee. Not a date, just two old coworkers catching up. But when she asked, "How have you been?" I actually answered, told her about the divorce, the house, the lies. And she didn't flinch, didn't say, "Wow, that's crazy." She just nodded, then said, "You know what sucks about heartbreak? It makes you forget who you were before the noise." Oh, that hit was different. We started talking more, not texting all day, not trauma bonding, just real conversations. She asked me about design stuff no one ever cared about. She looked through my sketches and gave notes like they mattered. And there was this one night, I showed her a sketch I'd been working on, just a little bungalow. Simple, efficient. She took one look and said, "You forgot the morning light in the study. Passion projects need morning light." And I swear my chest tightened, because that was it. She saw what I needed before I did. No, we didn't rush into anything. No rebound, no late-night confessions. It was quiet, slow, natural. She'd drop off coffee sometimes. I'd send her a design with her name in the corner. She'd send back edits. I'd smile like an idiot. And that's how I knew healing doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's just soft conversation and shared silence. Weeks passed. Then months. One day, I picked up a maple sapling from a nursery. The same kind I wanted to plant in the front yard of the old house, back when Amina and I were pretending to be something solid. I brought it home, dug a hole outside my new place. Shelby stood beside me watching. "Looks good there," she said. I wiped my hands, looked at her. "You know," I said, "this was supposed to be for the last house." She smiled. "Well, maybe it was just waiting for the right soil." Damn, she really had a way with words. We never defined it. Still haven't, but some things don't need labels to be real. She shows up, I show up. There's trust, laughter, no masks. I don't need to be someone else for her. I just get to be me. And sometimes, that's the real win, isn't it? Not revenge, not proving someone wrong, not building something bigger, flashier, louder, but coming back to yourself and realizing you never needed them to begin with. A year later. That's how long it's been since I walked out of that dream house we never finished. Funny how something you thought you needed ends up meaning absolutely nothing when the person you built it for wasn't really building with you. Now, I wake up in a place that's a little smaller, less polished, Less impressive, but it's mine. All of it. The walls, the windows, the peace. And yeah, that maple tree I planted. It's still small, but it's growing. Just like me. I remember getting a message from Azalea out of the blue. FYI, that house? It never sold. Every buyer backed out. I laughed. Some places don't want to hold that kind of energy. Bad intentions leave stains, even on drywall. That house, it was built on lies, on manipulation. And like most unstable structures, it collapsed from the inside out. Amina? She tried texting again a few months ago, said she was just checking in, said she'd been going to therapy, said she finally understood what she lost. I didn't reply, because it didn't matter. I wasn't holding on to any of it anymore. Not the anger, not the sadness, not even the closure. She didn't deserve my rage. She didn't deserve my silence. She didn't deserve anything. But if you're wondering, yes, sometimes I do think about her. Not in a way that hurts. More like watching a movie you used to love as a kid, only to rewatch it as an adult and realize it was never really that good. She wasn't dreaming. She was just a distraction. As for Shelby, she never asked for anything more than honesty. She never made me guess how she felt. And she never, not once, made me feel like I had to earn the right to be loved. And maybe that's why she's still here, still showing up, still sipping coffee with me on Sunday mornings while we sketch out new design ideas just for fun. There was one night, not long ago, we were sitting on the porch, that little maple tree swaying in the wind. She leaned her head on my shoulder and asked, real soft, "Do you miss it? The house, the life you almost had?" I thought for a second, then said, "Not even a little. That house was built on control, fear, and ego. This life, it's being built on trust, respect, peace." She smiled, didn't say anything else. I didn't need to. So yeah, the house didn't get built, the dream didn't go as planned, and the woman I thought I'd spend forever with turned out to be the lesson, not the legacy. But me, I'm still building. Just not for anyone who can't stand in the storm with me. And maybe that's the real win. Learning that some foundations are meant to crack, so you can pour better ones, stronger ones, on your own damn terms.